It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. On a sick one. On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one. On a sick one. And we are back with the 22nd episode of the On a Sick One podcast. It's your boy, Joe Comedy. I am back in Reno. I just want to make a huge shout out to Lightstyle Studios. They moved studios. It's absolutely beautiful in here. Very, very thankful for Jay, his beautiful wife, for always recording my podcast. I don't get to do them as often. Okay, I only record them when I can come back to Lightstyle Studios here in Reno, Nevada. But I always make it happen. Thank you to everybody that listens, that tunes in, that's patient with me so that I can keep this show rolling. This is the Joe Show, the On a Sick One podcast, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in and listening. So again, thank you. So I'm back in the No Town 77 Filthy, and I'm just going to dive right into it, okay? I have a guest with us today that flew in from Spanish Fork, Utah, is where he's currently residing. He's a nomad kind of man and an absolute sender, a legend in the game. Please help me welcome to the 22nd episode of the On a Sick One podcast, my buddy, Bradley Slums, the one and only. Bradley, what's poppin'? What's good, my boy?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me out.
Yeah.
Stoked. Happy to be in Reno.
Dude, it's always my favorite thing to do. I've told you guys before that I get to bring homies out, give them a little bit of the Reno experience, right? And show them around town and do some cool stuff. So first of all, how was your travel? How was your travel out here? Give me some juice, dude. How was it?
It wasn't bad. I mean, there was a layover in San Francisco, so my first flight, I was next to like a super big lady, so I'm just smashed against the window and yeah, arms going to sleep. I just tried to sleep on the plane, but it wasn't that bad. I can't complain too much.
Okay, good. Well, shout out to that lady for letting you lay up against her and catch some Z's on your way out here.
Yeah.
It's funny. A lot of people that have traveled out here for the show, I asked them that same question. I'm like, how was the travel?
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like, it was pretty good. But there's always a cool little story behind it. But thank you again for coming out here and taking your time.
Absolutely.
To come out here and be on the Joe Show, the On a Sick One podcast. So living out in Utah. How long you been out there, and when did you go there, and how do you like it out there?
So I went out. I mean, I've really been out there for like the kind of on and off for like the last 7 years. But I've been living full time. I think maybe going on like almost 4 years, 3 or 4 years now. So I love Utah though. It's super sick. It's an awesome spot.
Yeah, it seems like for a man of your stature and what you do, seems like Utah's a good place for you.
Yeah, it's like an action sports mecca. Like it's so perfect for, I mean, skydiving, base jumping, riding dirt bikes, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking of riding dirt bikes, if you guys don't know, you're about to fuck around and find out. This man is an incredible dirt bike rider, base jumper, skydiver, and also a motobase jumper. We're gonna get into that. But first, dude, I want to catch up with you and I want to learn some more about you because one of our mutual friends, big shout out to Tallboy T, is the reason why we cross paths on the internet,
Yeah.
on the Instagrams, which has happened so many times where I've got to link with homies and stuff through mutual friends. So big shout out to Tallboy. But how did you get into the bike life, like as a kid, or like how was that for you? What was that like?
Yeah, it was pretty like typical story. Like actually my mom bought the old school Z50, like
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those, the classics, right?
The Z50s.
Yeah, she found one at a garage sale for like $15. It was just like in a box taken apart, and she bought it, brought it home, and my dad just he was a mechanic, so he just put it together, and that was my first bike. But like my dad rode, he had bikes, so we were always on bikes as kids. But that was like my first like of my own, so about 5.
Shout out to
Started
your
riding.
mother.
Yeah,
Garage
dude.
sale fine on a Z50.
$15, and we had that thing. It lasted like 15 years. You know what I mean? After Dad put it together, I don't think we ever even changed the oil or anything on that thing. It
Nah,
just went-
Z50s, you could put water in.
Yeah.
Dude, those things run.
You
I
don't
had a
have to do
Z50.
nothing.
I know Tallboy had a Z50 that he was ripping around some of the shows and events and
Yep.
stuff. If you can find a Z50, or if you've had one, and in your case, you were really blessed to have one, like
Yep.
that's so sick, dude.
No, they're awesome. I wish I had one now. Like,
Dude, they're fine.
so sick. Yeah.
You can find them. They're out there, but a lot of people I feel like that have them are kind of holding on to them.
Yeah, now they're expensive. You're not getting one for $15.
So Z50, what was the next bike? You remember the next bike you had kind of after
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it was a X. It was kind of weird because I went to a XR 100. Had that for like ever. And then the first like race bike, like legit new bike I had was like a 97 KX 660.
Sick.
Yeah,
Sick.
KX60, just the classic, remember the like purple seat
Yep.
KX. It was
Colorways are so sick on those bikes. I grew
Yeah.
up in Michigan and all my cousins and friends raced. And my dad was into sports, but I'd go out and just love the smell of two-stroke from all the kids in the 60s and 80s and stuff. So that's sick.
Yeah, the local races, it was just a gate full of nothing but because
So
they
you
were the
did get
only
to you
ones.
did get to race and stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. I started racing like local stuff like maybe when I was like 7. And we actually did hill climb first. So we started with hill climb, did maybe like a season of hill climb, and then went into like the local like dirt bike races in Colorado.
Would you enjoy more of the hill climb stuff or did you enjoy the racetrack more?
I think I enjoyed the racing more when I was little, but nowadays I like hill climbs kind of more.
What was Pops like at the track? Because I know like a lot of track dads and like a lot of the homies that I know grow up racing moto or like my friends and stuff. The dads were just fucking
No,
brutal.
not my dad, dude. He was so chill. Like he was really cool. But my dad raced too, legit. My dad raced like local pro till he was like 48 years old. So even like when I was a kid, like in the 80s, like my dad was still
Savage.
racing like a 125 pro at like 48. So he was chill. He was doing his own thing, and then he just like he never had like he was never a weird dad like that at all. He was just like just go out there and have fun and
Stoked to have
do
you there.
good. Yeah, he's always been really cool like that.
I think that could have been helpful in your path because I know a lot of homies like the dads were such pricks to him and stuff about racing and part of it to do with taking the time and the money and all that and being competitive. But
Oh yeah,
a lot of the homies I feel like it's kind of put a kind of like a
takes the fun out of it
yeah
as a kid.
and now as adults they don't like to ride as much anymore because it kind of took the fun out of it from when they were younger. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely. I think my dad knew me because I'm always just about fun. I'm only doing stuff for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he knew if he did that, I probably wouldn't do good at all. You know what I mean? Or just bail on it
Hell yeah.
completely.
Where's Pops at now?
He's in Texas. He retired from the railroad and like moved to Texas, and he just lives on the lake and chills and fishes. So
Sick,
goes fishing.
big
every day.
shout out to Bentley
Yeah.
Slums' Pops
Yeah.
and his mom
Yep.
for creating him.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
always awesome. Speaking of creation, man, one of the best things in my life, hands down, without a doubt,
Yep.
are my beautiful children. I love being a father, and you, my friend, are also a father.
Yep.
So
Yep.
congrats
New
on that
dad,
again.
yeah.
And how's that experience been for you? How do you like being a father?
Oh, dude, it's literally the coolest thing like I've ever done in my life. It's so cool. Luca, my son, is like 21 months old right now, so he's really little. But it's been by far like the coolest thing ever. Being able to just I don't know, it's just so cool. I can't even really
Well, it's a
put
miniature
it
you,
in words.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. And he's crazy, dude. I can't believe it. Like for me, being a kid, like I didn't get a bike till I was like 4 or 5, right? Even a bicycle, like learning was
Yeah.
like then. And like he's on a strider at 21 months, and I'm just like, how are kids like they're all ripping at 2 and 3 years old, which is like blows my mind.
Just a reminder to all you new parents out there, don't put training wheels on your kid's little
Yeah.
bike, okay? Just throw them on a strider, and next thing you know, they'll be pedaling the bike, and they don't need it. They skip that whole phase, and it just gets them the balance. So congratulations again for you for that. Looking forward to eventually meeting Luca.
Yeah, he's awesome. dude.
And you also got married, yeah?
No, I'm not married.
You're not married.
No, no, no. Everybody thinks we're married, but no, we're not married. But I mean, we might as well be. Like we've been together for a few years. Lindsay is my girlfriend and baby mama. She's holding the fort down while I'm gone. But she's awesome. Yeah, we met, I think in like 20, she's gonna get mad since I don't know, but 2022, I think. we
Yeah.
met. And yeah, we had Luca in 24. And so yeah, she's kind of the reason I live in Utah now. Like,
You shout out to Lindsay, your child's mother, baby
Yep.
mama.
yeah.
We're holding it down so my friend can come out here and do this podcast. I've noticed too, you've been doing a great job of communicating with her and everything too.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to anyways.
yeah,
So
I can see that
I
you're a
try
good
to.
ass dude. I respect that. I appreciate that about you, dude.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah, being a father, man, that's something that in the motorcycle industry for me as well. That's I share that a lot in common. And one of my favorite things to do when I travel around and do all my shows and events is to meet the kids and the parents. And I always remind the kids like, "Yo, you got wicked cool parents," you
Yeah,
know.
right. Yeah,
And most of the time the kids agree with me. Sometimes they don't, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm just stoked. I'm stoked for your boy Luca, and it
yeah.
goes by so fast. And I'm sure you've already felt that.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. That is like the weirdest thing because we take tons of pictures and videos and stuff, obviously, and seeing them like how fast it all changes, or just looking back, even in my phone, seeing pics just from a couple months ago, and I'm like, wow, it's like going so quick. But I'm enjoying every part of it. Like every part is like my new favorite part, so I don't ever really have time to like miss like the previous version.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's definitely been the sickest thing in my life by far.
Shout out to all the good dads out there. Shout out to all the extreme sports athletes' dads. And anybody that loves motorcycles and gets their kids into motorcycles, gets their kids outside. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
doing something.
You ever travel? You see kids in the
Yeah,
airport, or you're going different places, and they're just locked in on iPads and
yeah.
phones, and they just don't even go outside. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. There's tons of kids just in our neighborhood. You see kids like that, but Luca would not even allow that, bro. He's literally like hanging out with. I actually have told my girlfriend this a couple times. Like, I feel like I'm hanging out with Tall Boy. Like sometimes, like as
sick.
just a little mini one, because Tall Boy's so good.
Yeah.
Like, how he likes to like we'll go cruise around and then we'll like post up our bikes somewhere and just kind of like bro out over there, and
Yeah.
he's like taking photos of them and videos,
So
just
sick.
getting the clips. Well, that's like Luca. When we go ride his little strider and I'm on my bike, he'll like want to stop and he posts his bike up all sick and like just admires it and sits down next to it,
Luca gets it.
bros down. Yeah, I'm like, dude, this is like what me and Tallboy would do.
That's so fire. So, let's get into your profession. Okay. Not
Hmm.
too many characters out there like yourself. Um, and in my personal opinion, I've scoured the internet. I've seen a lot of them. And so I highly respect you and your endeavors and your sends. Um, so let's tap into that. Uh, was it skydiving or base jumping that got you kind of
Into the moto
into the
base
whole
stuff.
moto base thing?
Yeah, so I mean, I honestly I had the idea of like doing moto base, kind of like a version of it. And since I was like 14 years old, it was just like this idea I had where me and my buddy Cody growing up, we had this idea like it'd be sick to just carve out this huge lip on a mountain, with like a D6 dozer and just boost it with like a Hayabusa or something, and like parachute.
Hell yeah.
And then, so once I got old enough to where I could skydive, like me and a group of friends went, just to go do tandems for fun. And we did that, and it was just super fun. So me and my buddy Cody, we decided we were gonna like get our license.
How old were you when that happened?
I think we were around like 19 or
Oh,
20,
sick.
something
Yeah,
around
yeah,
there.
yeah. Right when it was pretty much legal for you guys to
Yeah,
do
I
it.
think 18 you could do it. And so it was somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly. But we went and then we got licensed soon after that. And I then like had the idea of like, well, maybe I could actually do that one day, the kind of moto based thing. I didn't call it that back then, but just the idea of the stunt.
Yeah.
And yeah, just got into skydiving. Then that kind of became my job. I got like instructor ratings and stuff like that. And you have to have a certain amount of skydives before you can learn to base jump, which is like they say like 100 to 200, somewhere around there. So I just kept going and kind of took the steps to get to where I could actually do it.
So you've racked up some skydives.
Oh yeah, I probably have over 10,000 skydives now, dude. Like definitely.
I have one.
Yeah.
I was 25. It was my birthday. I went to Lodi,
Yeah, Lodi. That's
legendary
a
Lodi.
legendary place,
Yeah, yeah. Don't remember the gentleman's name that skydove with me in the tandem, but I do remember showing up that day, and he was a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
tweaking
a
a
little
bit.
bit. It was a little bit scary.
Well, Lodi is kind of known for being like a a pretty loose facility, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it seems
staff-wise.
loose, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure too they hold the record for like incidents.
Fatalities,
Yeah,
yeah.
not good.
Oh, they definitely, I think they do for sure.
But if you
I've
guys are in
been.
northern Nevada or if you're in the surrounding areas, you're looking for a skydive place to go to for the
Yeah, Lodi.
check out Lodi. Pretty
Yeah.
sick. Where did you get your license at?
So I got my license at a place, a small place called Skydive Phoenix, in Arizona, but I did my first jump at Mile High in Denver.
Sick.
Um,
Seems like an incredibly dope spot to do it.
yeah, I did my first jump there, and then years later, I ended up working there doing tandems. Shit, I don't know how many, maybe like 8 years after learning or more.
Yeah, which I think is pretty cool too, because you've given people so many times their first experience,
Yeah,
and help train people to get their license. But the first experience is absolutely like unreal, dude.
totally. It'll change my life completely. Cause like I think that was the first time I ever like actually just yelled out of like having fun, like a woo on the way down. Like I was like, what? I was like, holy shit, that's a
Sick.
crazy like
Yeah.
yeah, it was mind blowing. And then kind of spawned the ideas of everything else, just kept going after that.
So started with the skydiving, got licensed, started helping others get licensed and doing tandems and showing people what that experience is like, that adrenaline rush from jumping out of planes, which I want to do again.
Yeah.
And I probably will.
Yeah, you should. You should go to Skydive Utah where I work nowadays. Like
Might have
it's
to
a
pull back in.
sick spot. Yeah.
Dude,
That's a
they
good
have it in Hawaii too, on the island.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
up toward North Shore. So I think if I was gonna do it again, I'll either come see you over there in Utah
Oh yeah,
or do
Hawaii's
it in
sick.
Hawaii. I think that'd be a pretty awesome experience.
Yeah.
So skydiving's one thing though, right? Going up
Mhm.
on a little plane that's like you can see all the rivets that go to the back of the plane. And it's
Mhm.
like you're back to back with the pilot or whatever, or maybe in a little bit bigger plane. And then going with somebody that's talented that knows what they're doing, like yourself, is a cool experience. And an adrenaline rush. That's insane. It's hard to explain unless you go experience it for yourself. But what I can imagine is how that evolved for you into base jumping.
Yeah, base is way different for sure. More scary. I mean, it's super scary. Like skydiving's like walking down the stairs for me now, jumping out. But base jumping every time just always scary.
What
No
goes through
matter
your head?
what.
What goes through your head though? Like you make the plan, you pick the spot, the work that goes into it. You pull up
Mhm.
there, you stand up there.
For just like a regular base jump.
Yeah.
Really is you just like think about all the stuff that you have to do beforehand, to like prepare packing and stuff like that. And but once you get there and it's go time, you're just kind of like calming yourself down, taking some breaths and focusing on whatever you're gonna do. But I'm not like a super crazy base jumper. I'm not like throwing like 8 gainers or anything off or doing super technical stuff. So it's really just trying to be safe, like
Yeah.
keep my nerves down and just do what you got to do. Cause it kind of at this point is like just natural reaction. Like I'm not really thinking about this stuff. You know how it is like
Yeah.
riding. You're not thinking about what you're doing.
No, you're in it. You're just doing it.
Yeah. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
So you get nervous up to the point, but then, when you decide you're going to do something like that all kind of like goes away.
Yeah, it seems like preparation and just like you said, being mindful of just being as safe as possible, just because it is something that once you do it,
Yeah.
you know,
You're in it. Yeah.
and there's a backup as well, right? When you base jump.
No, so base jumping is only a single parachute system. That's what makes it so much gnarlier. Just
Dude,
because with base jumping, you're so low, there's no time to use a backup anyways.
one shot.
Yeah. So that's a single parachute system. That's designed to open really fast. But yeah, there's no backups on it. So you got to prepare properly and then just go.
Damn, I was thinking about having Brad teach me how to base jump, but now that I know that there's one
When
shot,
you
one
thought there were
shoot,
two.
dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems a little bit scarier, man.
It is scary.
Dude. Is there a memorable something that you want to highlight for a base jump that you've experienced that you've went and conquered and executed that sticks out in your mind that you're willing to share? Because I
mean,
know
there's been.
in a lot of places, Slum shared this with me yesterday. He said that Nevada, right,
Mhm.
is illegal
I think
to
it's a
base jump off of
felony.
shit.
I can't remember if it's the whole state or if it's just whatever county that Las Vegas is.
Mm,
But I can't remember, but I know they made it a felony for sure in Vegas,
yeah.
like years ago. But like just base jumps, like Vegas would be one of them. Like I base jumped the stratosphere like years ago. I kind of told you a little bit about that before.
Epic.
And that one was sick because I was like straight up like a bank heist kind of thing. We had to like, I rented a wheelchair and like pretended to be like in a wheelchair and hid my rig and my buddy's rig behind my back and like under my seat so we could go through security. Took the elevator to the top. Then we went into the handicap bathroom and like put our rigs on from there. And we had friends like out on the deck, you know, like the Skyview area, with like radios. And then they told us like when it was like clear from there to the door, and we just like bolted out. And it was like New Year's Eve, I think 2012 turning 2013. So it was super packed. Like Las Vegas Boulevard was packed, everything. It was in the middle of the night.
Oh,
And we just bombed off of that thing and somehow got away, just hiding in plain sight because people thought we were just like part of the New Year's show or something. So nobody chased us. We didn't get uh, no security after us or anything. And then we got away in our like rental car, went to the hotel and watched it like on the news, like them like talking about people base jumping the stratosphere. So that was a pretty cool one.
yeah, I would say that's a pretty damn good one. If you've been to Vegas and you've seen the stratosphere, I mean, imagine just
Yeah.
going with your friend, getting in a wheelchair, putting their chute underneath you, one behind you, you and your friends cruise up, restroom, throw your packs on, run out, New Year's Eve, people everywhere partying. They think you're part of the show. Yee.
Yeah. People are tripping like
One shot, one shoot, yoink.
yeah, I guess some of the people up top, like our friends who were up there like filming, they said that people thought we were like committing suicide or something, you know,
damn,
like start
see, that's
screaming when you're
gnarly.
climbing over. But yeah, that one was cool. That's a cool story. But there's been so much good times in base, like just traveling around, jumping cool stuff. But yeah.
Is there a bridge that stands out in your mind? Because I know I've seen you do it off some bridges.
Not really just for base jumping. I've done a ton of jumps off bridges, but really just motobase. That one time I did the bridge. I jumped off a bridge in Utah, and that one was pretty sick because that was kind of a get in and get out.
Get in and get out.
Yeah.
So the get in, get out vibes in the Harley industry, I've definitely helped some homies do that, whether it be street
Mhm.
riding or posting some clips for a video part, which is pretty exhilarating experience, right? It's like the whole leading up to it, preparing, pulling up, and then getting the clip and getting out, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's fun.
choosing the time, choosing when to do it,
Yeah.
getting the homies together, whoever's helping you out with it, and then making a plan and going and making it happen. So, for those of you who have been living under a fucking rock and you don't know what motobase is, motobase is where you get on your motorcycle and you set up a ramp and you jump off, you pull a chute, and the chute deploys, and one deploys for your bike, and you safely just make it down. So
It's a plan, yeah.
that right? Am I accurate with that?
Yeah, so my terminology, like technically a moto base is turning like a moto jump into a base jump. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Is the way I have kind of like I describe it. Cause like just riding a dirt bike like off a cliff, like that is a base jump, you know, that people like walk off of and do a base jump.
Right.
Doesn't really seem like a moto base to me. So it's
Okay.
kind of turning a dirt bike jump into a base jump, but yeah, parachute on me and the bike.
See, check it out. We're learning something. We're learning something.
Yeah.
So I want to talk more about the bridge one that you did.
Mhm.
And that was a legitimate moto base because you took
Oh,
a
yeah.
moto ramp.
It was a FMX ramp on a
What size
bridge.
ramp was that one?
It's just a standard like freestyle
9-footer?
ramp. Man, I don't even know, but yeah, just a standard freestyle ramp like you'd see at a show.
Sick.
Yeah, just a regular. It was this dude Paul Smith's ramp. He was like a OG freestyle guy who died years ago at Fitzland.
Yeah, rest in paradise to that, man.
Yeah, he was sick, but I got that ramp from somebody. I don't even remember how I ended up with it after he passed away. But it's a soup. It was like a perfect like portable because it like folded down the top and the back.
Yep.
So you could get into a lot of spots. So I had the Metal Militia guys, Link Uncle.
I know.
Lincoln. Okay. He's
Shout
super
out
cool.
Link. What up,
yeah,
Link?
Lincoln. What up, dude? And him and a couple other buddies, like they drove the truck and the trailer up and set it up for me. And then they just like kind of radioed into me and let me know. And I left from like this, it's like a rest stop like down the road and just like mobbed the highway on the dual sport and boosted the ramp. But that one was gnarly. I almost killed myself on that one,
Yeah, I've
honestly.
watched that video a bunch of times, and it's just so gnarly because it seems like, were you like middle of the bridge? Was it like, did you try to go
It
dead
was
center a little
kinda,
bit just before center of the bridge-ish?
yeah, I don't know exactly where it was like in length of the bridge. Like we just kind of had to eyeball everything beforehand, you know? And I was like, yeah, put the ramp about here. And if I would have hit the ramp at normal FMX speed, the 75-foot ramp, how fast you're supposed to hit it,
Like
it would have
second
been
gear,
money.
top of second gear?
But I was coming off the highway,
Oh,
dude,
dude.
and I was like, it just seemed I hit it in like third, like going way too fast.
Oh.
So I almost gapped the whole canyon, you know, and I was like, I thought for sure I was hitting the cliff on the other side after I took off, but it was too late.
So then you're
I
in
was
the
in it.
air, and you
Yeah.
just pull the shoe and just
Yeah,
go
that
for-
one was so gnarly because I open up the cliffs like feels like it's like 40 feet away from me, you know what I mean? But it's not, it's further away. And I had to do like a quick 180 to land like in the safe landing area. But I thought for sure I was like shattering my pelvis or something because I
Oh.
scraped my butt. It felt like off of huge boulders, like
Yeah.
hauling ass.
So even when your chute deploys on a moto base or a base jump like that, it doesn't mean that you are slowing up enough to have like a somewhat
Well,
gentle landing.
yeah, the parachutes still fly like forward at a certain speed. You know what I mean? They're all designed in a certain way. So once a parachute opens, you're still going forward and you're going down, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just the way they are. Because unless you're in like a cargo chute type situation, like around like what my bike is
Yeah.
using for motobase, like it's just going straight down.
So how many seconds would you say when you throw the chute and it pops open? Do you kind of immediately start that gradual flow and down, forward and
So
down?
So the way we pack them, we pack the base parachutes to open up in full brakes in a full stop.
Okay.
But to be able to land it, you have to put it into full flight
Okay.
so that you can re-stop it when you get to the ground.
So you got to be quick.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
that was the thing is like, yeah, it's basically in a stop when you open, but I was facing the cliff and I had to fully turn around. So I had to unstop it, turn around, then re-stop it.
So yeah, there's a lot going on, and
There's a
you
ton.
have like literally milliseconds to
That one I
make
felt like
it
I
happen.
had 0.03. I don't know. It was not time to think. Like you've seen the video, right? My
Oh yeah.
POV of that one, I'm just tripping balls when I get to the ground. I'm just like, how did I not die? Like, how did I do it? It was terrifying, dude.
What
But
would you say that one was your most terrifying, like gnarliest?
no,
No.
no,
What, dude?
no. It was a pretty crazy one, but dude, there's been so many. I can't believe, honestly, like how many times like I've just skimmed by being fine. Because there was a time I tried to backflip on a moto base a few years ago in New Mexico, and I had trained at Metal Militia Compound on the freestyle ramp
Sick.
going into the pit, and that's second gear flip, you know, learn that, and I got like to where I was doing that okay, you know, into the pit. But then when you go out, say it's 2 weeks later, I'm on the jump that I built. It's a sandbag jump, you know, and it's a fourth gear dirt jump. So it's like you can't practice that into the pit, the pull or anything. And I ended up not pulling enough because I listened to some people like who gave me advice, and I was like, which they're pro riders, you know, so I listened, but I was like, I don't know if it's that way for moto base. But I let it get in my head, and I didn't pull like I felt like I should, and I ended up just totally stuck upside down on the moto base, and I was just literally a second from being dead. I just pitched like upside down. I kind of peeked through the bike and pitched, and somehow my parachute opened perfectly clean away from the bike. The bike went in, exploded. It was brand new. It had like
Oh
8
my
hours on it. and the bike just explodes underneath me, and I literally flew through my own bike's dust cloud. I was that close to the ground to like hitting.
Holy smokes.
And there's video of that one on my
And you didn't get
Instagram.
injured on that?
No, it's totally
You hit the
fine.
ground,
I
like, you hit-
destroyed a brand new dirt bike, but I was fine.
Damn.
That
So
one
the
was
bikes that you that does sound extremely gnarly.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just imagine, I don't know, just being upside down.
I mean, I
you were
cried
you
after
were
that
fourth
one.
gear on that one off a
Yeah.
sandbag jump, just
Yeah. Yeah.
and then not enough.
Yeah, just stuck.
Pitched up. Wow.
Panic revving just
Oh,
for like 5
yeah.
seconds, and I'm like, oh no, I'm done. Like,
Holy shit.
but I cried after that one. Like, it
Did
was
you?
so scary. Like, I literally like broke down and like cried because it was so fucked.
Hey, ain't no fucking shame in this man's
Nah,
game. I'd
dude,
have
I mean,
cried too. I'd have cried for a
Just
week.
out in
dude.
the middle of the desert, just crying. Like,
You know what's crazy is you said something last night that registered with me pretty well. Because we're in Reno, right? So there are
Mhm.
casinos and all the bullshit everywhere. And
yeah.
I was like, yo, you gamble? And this
Yeah.
fool goes, I don't gamble with my money. I only gamble with my life. And I was like, holy shit, dude, this
Yeah.
guy's a sicko. So
Yeah.
Your
Mostly
knee-
because I don't have enough money to gamble. You know?
yeah,
what I mean?
no,
But-
me, hey, me neither. man. Me neither.
Yeah, I can't be wasting it, dude. So far,
Nah.
I've still got some lives, I think. But...
Yeah, no, pretty sure you're a fucking cat, dude.
yeah, definitely.
So it's interesting to me. Quick question about when you do successfully get the parachute for the motorcycle to deploy and the bike comes down onto the ground, how do you ride that thing out of there?
Yeah.
Which is a cool part
yeah,
of it,
that's
right?
sick. Yeah.
You're all successful, you're all just boom, you knocked it out, and
That is like the best feeling, like when you get to ride back, like there's no damage on the bike, because like it's the most fun thing I can do. Motobase, you know, is like so fun. But the cool part is like the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like being able to set up, build the jump, do the jump, ride back. You know, it's kind of like it's almost like adventure riding, but like just
an
on
extreme level.
crystal meth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just as peak as it can
I think
go.
I would have to be on crystal meth in order to hit one of these jumps.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuclear. So real quick too, the chutes for the bikes. You can't just go down to fucking Shields or Cabela's or something or fucking one of these stores. You can't
No.
go on Amazon, Temu.
Yeah.
Don't buy one of those. But those don't exist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So how did you figure out a way after, especially after like grenading that bike that you said
Mhm.
that broke to pieces on the ground? How did you figure out a way to save the bike so you can ride
So
out?
yeah, so saving it like my first like I think I only did like 2 moto base jumps without like saving the bike, you know, back when I was learning and like just proving the concept to myself, you know, that like okay, yeah, I could do this like over and over. But when it came time to saving the bike, I wanted to be able to like build a bike for moto base, you know, that I could save. And so what I actually do is, you know, paragliding
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So they run like an emergency reserve, a lot of the guys do. And so I use paragliding reserves that I like have super modified. So we just buy that that's rated for the weight of the bike, basically to save a human that weighs that much.
Yeah.
And then I modify it to work to be able to work in the motobase system. So we like reinforce it, change the lines, shorten the lines, put reinforcement to make it stronger to take the hard openings with the
Yep.
weight. And then I rig up the system to where it connects to me and all that stuff. So yeah, you can't go buy a motobase setup. So I just had to learn how to do all that stuff and kind of had some people help me learn it. And then I got my license to rig, you know, is
Sick.
what it's called. Like, so I got a federal license to be able to like build parachute stuff.
Oh,
and
damn.
pack and all that.
That's dope. So technically, if somebody wanted to hit you up and you were willing to give them what you've learned and what you've developed, if
Yeah.
somebody was like, yo, I'm doing this and I want to buy one from you, can I buy one?
That's
Would you
actually
build me
a
someone?
guy drove his bike from SoCal last week and dropped it off in my house, and that's what I'm doing
No
for a dude
kidding.
right now is building him like a full moto base setup for that bike. He's a skydiver base jumper who rides dirt bikes. So
Sick. So that's something that you're interested in, that if somebody was legitimate and they were
Yeah.
serious about it, that they could come to you and
yeah,
buy
and
it and
build
then
it.
have you build them.
Yeah, it's fun. I love like the rigging of that stuff. It's cool. I've done it so many times, having so many bikes and changing things, you know. And I like that part, like building the stuff or designing it really, because I wouldn't say building it from the ground up. I mostly modify
Right.
and make it how it needs to be. and then I'll delegate some stuff to other licensed riggers. Like my buddy Greg, he's like a super badass master rigger, and he has like all the machines and stuff because some of it's pretty hardcore. It's like it's almost like leather work, like the machines that you need,
Yeah.
for some things. And so I'll give him certain tasks to do to finish it up and things. But yeah.
That's right. So when you throw, right, you throw out
Mhm.
your chute and you separate from the bike, is there something that pulls with it so that deploys the bike chute?
Yeah, so the system's like I'm wearing my parachute and my deployment of my parachute initiates everything, but it's just basically a what we call a belly band. So it's like a waist system that goes onto my rig, and then that connects down. I turn the whole seat of the bike is the container for the parachute for the bike. Okay. So you're literally riding on it. Like it pretty much looks like a normal bike, but the seat is actually like the parachute container and all that.
Sick.
And so when my parachute pulls me off, it just like extracts everything for the bike to line stretch to stop the bike. And then it breaks away at like 80 pounds of pressure.
Sick.
And then the
So
like
it's like a
goes,
slight tug for you. It doesn't like
yeah, I don't really even hardly feel it. I notice it, but mostly I'm like always watching for it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just like kind of
100%.
part of my process, like watching as it goes.
So if somebody wanted to get into moto base, obviously they'd have to be into moto. They'd
Yeah,
also
you gotta,
would you suggest that they start with skydiving and get
you kind of have to. I mean, you have to at least learn how to fly a parachute. So you'd have to come from maybe paragliding
Mm,
or skydiving to start base jumping.
yeah.
Um, but that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure you've seen like there's a few people who have like started trying moto base stuff,
Oh yeah, I've been seeing it.
and a reoccurring theme in it is like maybe they're skydivers or base jumpers, but they don't know how to ride, and that is like not ideal because you got to be able to jump a dirt bike and fly a dirt bike. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Seems like you have to have both sets of skills,
yeah,
right?
it's definitely
If you don't have a
ideal.
moto background, I mean, it just seems like what are you gonna do? You've never like ridden a dirt bike and then you're just gonna go out there fourth gear wide off a
Just
sandbag
fourth
jump?
whacked,
I don't
yeah,
know.
and be in control, yeah.
Oh, dude. If
Exactly.
any of those guys are listening right now, shout out to you, dude.
No, there are some gnarly dudes who've sent some. I would get tagged in some crazy videos. There was these one guys uh, who did like a tridem, like three dudes on a bike off a moto base, and they when they hit the jump, bro, they just like corkscrew and they do a whole barrel roll, like straight up, like an entire
A
barrel.
successful one?
Yeah, they somehow lived. Nobody got hurt.
That's
Is
insane.
so sketchy though, but I don't know who those guys were, but that was a crazy.
Have you ever done an international skydive base or moto base?
I don't know. If I haven't done international moto base, but I've been to Malaysia to a base jump off the KL Tower, I think it's called.
Sick.
It used to be like the biggest building in the world like years ago, and that was sick. But it's like literally an event that's every year,
Okay,
where
cool.
the government like lets base jumpers just like rage this building
Oh, that's
for a
badass.
week. Yeah.
They probably make a grip of money doing that, huh?
Oh
So
yeah, it's a big like I don't really know the angle, but yeah. So Malaysia, and then we've done like some shows, base jumping shows in Mexico for like ex-pilots and some other random stuff. And I think that's it for out of country. I haven't really.
that's dope. That's dope. The international shit's cool. That's definitely one of my goals going forward. I've done some shows in Mexico with the
Mhm.
boys. I've done Canada. But ultimately for me, it's a really cool experience to take what you love and your passion and go show it off and experience it overseas.
Yeah, totally.
Um,
That'd be fun. I'd love to do some moto base like in other spots like probably the number one. It's not out of country. It's just in Alaska, so I got to go through Canada. But I really want to go to that, like where they launch the cars off
oh
that
yeah,
cliff,
what's
the
that
Fourth of
event
July
called?
party. I don't know. I know it's Fourth of July,
I
but it's
s-
just they launch cars off that cliff, and I so bad want to go there and
Do you
sit
think
and
that's
watch.
enough space? Because it
Oh,
seems you guys have all
100%.
seen. I know if you guys have seen the videos from Alaska where they literally just pin these cars and they whoa, and they drive off and they crash down and there's a bunch of people there watching and it's like this big celebration. That's some
It look,
American shit right there.
oh, it looks awesome. Yeah. Me and Lincoln from Metal Militia, we were trying to plan going there like 2 years ago, and then I ended up getting hurt, and so like we didn't go, but one day definitely.
Dude, I'm gonna
gotta
reach for him. I'm gonna take a little bit of my time. I'm gonna reach out to those guys, see if
Yeah,
we
we
can't get
got
this full
to.
locked
Yeah,
in
that
to
would be
rip
so
off of
sick.
that hill that they do that on the car, and that's around the 4th of July, huh?
Yep.
Makes sense because that's some American ass shit. That's
That
a
is,
hell of a way to celebrate this beautiful country of ours. Um, so one thing that you just mentioned to me that interests me as well is with the history that you just explained from the skydiving to the base jumping and to the moto base, something that seems like you're risking your life, and you've had a lot of success in it going well, but you've also experienced and have had to have experienced some injuries.
Oh yeah,
So
tons of
let's tap in on
injuries.
that because I mean, any extreme sports athlete that I know, and in any of the motorcycle world, has gone through a great deal of breaking bones and injuries and muscle tears and all this crazy shit. So Bradley, Slums, injuries, what's good?
Oh
Tell me some
man,
stories,
dude,
dog.
so many injuries. Honestly, dude, I feel like I'm up there with Travis Pastrana for sure on
Holy
like
smokes, that
injuries.
fool's
Like,
messed. That
yeah,
fool's
he's
got
bad.
fucked up.
But like you've seen his body X-ray, right? Like,
Yeah,
dude, mine's pretty close nowadays, I think.
damn.
But dude, gnarliest injuries. Probably the first super bad one. I was like 17. I was riding like supercross, and I like hit neutral on a triple like rhythm section and just faced into the lander. And I put my arm out, and that's like that big scar I have on my arm. Well, actually, the camera can probably see. Like when I
Damn,
was
dude.
17, I just
Both
exploded my arm,
sides.
dude. Yeah,
Holy shit, that's skin
gnarly.
graft, ain't it?
Yeah, skin graft there.
Yeah,
So I
dude.
shattered my arm. I think it was 13
And
places.
you have all your
Yeah, yeah,
damn,
all
that's
good.
throttle hand too. That's
Yeah,
something.
throttle hand. So, and literally, I was 17 when I did that. So I've had it like most of my life now. That one was gnarly because I got compartment syndrome. You know what that is? Like,
No.
it's like where I guess you are bleeding internally, and so it just swells up super bad. So that's why I had the skin graft. They had to like cut open and release the pressure.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that was gnarly. That was a bad one. That took a long time to heal up from. It was super traumatic. And then I had a bad one where I broke my neck skydiving.
Broke your neck skydiving.
Yeah, just
Yeah, tell me
fucking
about that.
that was just me, like kind of when I was early on, like in my first few years, I just messed up like and did a bad turn and landing and I crashed and broke my neck. But I was like I just had to have surgery on my C6, I think it was, but I didn't even know I broke my neck at that time. Like it just felt like I strained my neck
Yeah.
and I drove myself to the hospital thinking I like strained my neck and then they like strapped me down after x-rays and like did surgery.
Yeah.
But
Gnarly.
yeah, that one was gnarly and then I had a pretty bad one jumping off a bridge. It's actually I think it's in Arizona, Burrow Creek Bridge, I think is what it's called. It's like I think it's kind of Nevada, Arizona like area, and I just ended up landing in these super gnarly, big rocky boulders, and just shattered my ankle and my elbow, and that one was gnarly. Had a bunch of surgeries for that. That took a long time to heal from. And on that was all when I was younger, like in my early 20s, the big ones like that. And then I went a long time being totally good, just doing all my stuff and being fine until I think it's almost 3 years ago or so when I had my really bad accident paragliding.
Mm.
And that one was gnarly. I shattered my pelvis, broke my hip, broke my femur, tore my femoral artery, shattered my ankle, shattered my heel, ruptured my right testicle, and fucking pretty much I literally almost died. I thought I was gonna die on that one. That one was
Okay,
really
let's keep talking about this. I can't. First of all, we were talking about the elbow thing a minute ago from one of your younger injuries,
bad. Dude.
and sometimes like I've go skiing or other skating in air, and you just smash that
Yeah.
fucker, and it's just like unbearable pain. So actually shattering it, and just some of the injuries that you're explaining, man, it's just like
Yeah,
dude, I
elbow's
got a
bad.
pretty high pain tolerance, but I don't know, dude. I guess your adrenaline fucking kicks in and helps you through those experiences.
I don't
But
know.
let's fucking focus on the injury list that you just said, and before you go into that, I just want to say that I'm glad you're all right, man,
Me too. Yeah.
and you were able to recover from that. But
That was tough. Yeah.
explain after that happened to you, and where were you? Were you way out in the middle of nowhere? Like, how was that? And did you get air vac out? Like, walk me through the experience of like, boom, the incident happens. Maybe give me a background on what happened. So paragliding,
Mm-hmm.
where are you? What happens to go wrong? And once you're injured, kind of that experience and how the fuck you were able to survive that
Yeah,
experience.
so I'd been paragliding like all day, and it was kind of over by my house in near Spanish Fork, Utah. There's like this kind of universal paragliding spot called Point of the Mountain, and that's where I'd been flying all day. It was like super cool, but my girlfriend Lindsay had went with some friends out to the dunes while I was flying, and then she told me to come meet them out there for like sunset. So I drove all the way out to Little Sahara is what it's called. It's like a OHV dune spot.
Sick spot.
Yeah, about an hour from my house. So went out there to meet with her and her friends, and they had like a razor and stuff out there. And so I was like, oh, I should launch my speed wing out here in the dunes. Like that would be sick. And so I set it up. I was launching off of the razor, like off the top of the dune. So I set up like the canopy out back, and I would ride the top of the razor like down the hill to get the parachute flying and then bail off the top of the
Yeah.
razor and rip the mountain.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. That was all fine and good. And I was ripping by the razor. And I get down to the bottom and I'm just turning to like go land. And I'm only like 50 feet off the ground at this point. And somehow, when I started to turn to land, the whole right side of my parachute, like I don't know if it was like a wind thing or like a dust devil or something, just totally folded like the right side of my parachute over, and I just went in from like 50 feet and just impacted. And it was the heaviest impact like I've ever felt. It felt like got hit by a train from my feet like up. It was so
You had no
heavy.
control. Once it folded on you, 50 feet,
I was
you were
done.
you were
Yeah.
just
It was like
boom, headed
jumping off
straight
a
down.
3-story building or something, dude.
Dude. And
Yeah, it was
how
bad.
much speed do you think you had at that point? How fast you were
I
headed towards
don't
the ground?
know. I honestly
It's
I
hard
don't
to
know.
gauge in your
It's hard. Yeah, we can watch a video of it after, but I don't know. But it was so gnarly, and as soon as I hit, I just felt like my body explode. It felt like, and I knew instantly I had thought I had only broken my femur,
Yeah.
like at the time. But turns out I'd like shattered my pelvis, broke my hip, the femur, my ankle and heel was so broken that I literally lost feeling to it at the time. And I didn't even know it was broken at all. Like I couldn't feel it. And, but the scary part of that one was I was legit bleeding to death, like inside from my femoral artery. And, it was brutal.
You could feel so
Absolutely
wait,
brutal.
so you're laying on the ground. Your girl Lindsay came over
Mm-hmm.
and she's like there for you. You guys are out in the middle. So I don't when your arteries are bleeding, if you have internal bleeding like that, I know
Mm-hmm.
there's a small window pretty much that you have to stop the internal bleeding before it's
Oh,
ultimately
yeah.
catastrophic and you lose your life.
Yeah, it felt super creepy. So it was like it felt like I was pissing myself. It felt like I was peeing down the inside of my thigh. And that was the blood like rushing down my leg. And so to keep it from bleeding out, I had to hold my legs together like super painfully, just like and push it together. And then it would stop. I could feel it stop like
It's like
that
shutting
gushing.
off by squeezing your legs tight.
Yeah.
And that probably sucked.
Oh, it
You
was
could feel all
brutal.
that.
Yeah, it was brutal. And dude, it took like 2 hours for life flight to get there because we were way out in the dunes. And so I just had to hold myself like that to keep from dying, legit. But I
Oh,
thought that is the first time ever in my life where I was like, oh, I'm actually dying. Like, I'm literally dying. I told my girlfriend, like, sorry, I love you. Like, I'm dying. Like,
holy
for
shit.
sure. It was super gnarly. That one was rough.
What's gnarly about that one is you definitely have the skills and everything that for what you were doing, but there was an element that you couldn't prepare for that you couldn't have
Yeah.
gauged that
Yeah, it was
kind
just
of
so
like a freak
random.
moment where the chute collapsed and boom, you're on the ground. And
Yeah, that's what's so scary about it because I don't know like it was just the only thing I think is like, oh, I just shouldn't have went to the dunes that day.
Mm.
But it's like, how do you?
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, dude, whether you're
Yeah.
like riding Harleys or doing FMX or,
Mm.
jumping out of planes or whatever, it's like you know in the back of your mind that you're taking risks.
Yeah.
But I think that's that's why you do it.
Yeah.
And you enjoy the send and
Yeah.
in that moment you didn't really have a choice and do you feel like I feel like that had to have bonded you and her closer together, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. The crazy thing is like I had found out like she was pregnant like with Luca like maybe I think it was like 2 or 3 months before, maybe more, a few months before. So it was like knowing I'm having a kid, like I'm stoked. I'm so happy to be having a kid. And then I literally am totally laying there thinking like, oh, I'm dying. Like I'm not even gonna get to see my kid or anything like ever. And I legit thought I was, like, gonna die right there.
damn, dude. I've only met maybe a handful of people that have had an experience where their injuries from something has kind of had them in their mind
Mhm.
having to accept the fact that
Yeah.
they may or may not survive something.
Yeah.
And I just can't even imagine that experience. Were you in a way like accepting of it and coming to peace with it? Like
No, I was fighting. I was, like, trying really hard not to, but I was apologizing to Lindsay in case I did. Like, I wanted her to know, like, I'm really trying not to die, but I think I'm gonna die. Like, so it was weird.
so 2 hours took way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Obviously, you squeezing your legs and everything that you were doing and
Mhm.
just fighting for
Yeah.
your life in that experience.
Legit, yeah.
Boom, helicopter comes. Did they kind of fly in and they like found you right away? Because I mean, you're on the dunes, like
Yeah, they knew. I mean, there was a ton of people there. I mean, there's fucking like people, random people there at the dunes made like vlogs of me like dying out there. You know
holy
what I
shit.
mean? There was like it was like people found out about it from like YouTube before Lindsay or me ever said anything about it. Um
Yo, we
but
need that content. We need
yeah,
it
right.
now.
Yeah.
And you owe my boy
Somebody's got
20
it.
bands.
Yeah, but yeah, they got there, it took me to the hospital, and then I was like in I don't know what part, like I know I had like 2 days of surgeries and 11 blood transfusions.
Damn.
And then I was in like I don't know if it's ICU or whatever, like the trauma unit for like 18 days in the hospital, like bad.
Yeah.
Super gnarly. Yeah.
Well, it seems like shout out to obviously to Lindsay for being there by your side during that. Shout out to the pilots, right? For
Yeah.
finally getting there and taking your ass over to the hospital. And then
Yeah.
the doctors, right? Like sometimes people have catastrophic injuries and you just end up in the wrong hospital and the people may or may not be as qualified to help
Mhm.
you and save your life, you know?
No, my doctor, that is one thing that dude legit saved, like made it to where I could actually be doing stuff again because and man, I hope I don't mess his name up. I think it was Dr. Baker. Dr. Baker like saved my life. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Like he did such a good job putting me together and like everybody after after I'd went there and when I was going to rehab, to like rehabilitate my body, they all talked about like that doctor. Like I was so lucky to get that dude and he definitely hooked it up. So yeah, worked out for sure.
Dr. Baker,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
ass
shout
dude.
out. I
Very
still
good
owe him
doctor.
a poster. I told him I'd bring him an autograph.
We're gonna get you,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm gonna
gotta
make sure I hold the rally to it.
Yeah, I gotta get that done. My girlfriend reminds me about it all the time, like, "Fuck, yeah,
That's right.
gotta
You'll
do
get it
that."
out to him.
Yeah,
He'll be stoked. He'll be stoked when he gets it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, all the variables that came into play for you to survive, that freak accident. And obviously, and have come to terms with the fact that you are sending it to the point where you are cheating and gambling with your
Oh,
with your
yeah.
life, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's like hacking, like, not dying. Like, you're trying to, like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this, and I gotta figure out how to do it and not get hurt." You know what I mean? Because as I can't help but want to do that stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't wanna live a life where I'm not doing that kind of thing and having those kind of experiences and having fun, but then at the same time, I don't wanna die because I wanna be around my family and, like, watch my son grow up and then see him do cool stuff and, be at least as good a dad as my dad was to me because he was so sick,
yeah,
and I know how important that has all been to me growing up. And I'm like, dang, I really don't want to die and not be able to have those times with my kid, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just from the short time I met you and just and watching all the crazy shit that you've done and learning more about you to here today, I don't think you're gonna stop, my boy.
No, I know. Sometimes I wish maybe I could or would want to, but I just no way.
It's
I
just in
don't
your
want
blood,
it.
it's in your
Yeah.
heart. It's just
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And also, I don't know, there's this weird thing where like I want to keep doing it, like because my dad did rode and skydived even until he was like 65. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I'm like, I want to be doing stuff and my son be able to experience doing those things with me. Like I've skydived with my dad, I've rode with my dad, I've done everything that I love to do, like with him, you know? And like I don't want to stop and just be like doing nothing. Well, while my son's like growing up, I want to do that stuff with him, you know?
Well, you definitely have some incredible guardian angels, and I will be praying for you, my boy, because I
100%.
know that you got some really cool shit in your career, that is still gonna be done, and I respect the hell out of the sends and what you do, my friend. I think that it's an incredible way to experience in life. So what, the all the adrenaline rush and shit, would you say that that's, like, the greatest, like, drug or feeling that you've ever kind of experienced? Like
I don't know. People always ask if I'm like an adrenaline junkie, and I don't really think it's adrenaline. Like, I just like having like a mission and a goal and like something fun to do. But honestly, when I feel adrenaline, it's because something's like going bad
ah,
or it's going wrong. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I don't think I actually enjoy the adrenaline, as you would say. It's just maybe I have a very high level of like what entertains me. I don't know
okay.
what it is,
Yeah, no,
but
that's understandable.
yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
just everything seems boring. You know what I mean? Except for certain things. But then if I feel adrenaline, like I don't like it that much either.
You're able to compose yourself to the point where when you're doing all this crazy ass shit, you're not even really experiencing adrenaline. You're just
Yeah.
getting your mission
Yeah,
handled and
it's just I'm in
finding
like
that
flow
entertainment.
state.
Yeah,
Like when I'm
flow
doing
state.
that stuff, then I can be in flow and it just feels good and natural. But yeah, adrenaline usually is because something's going not good or I had a close one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Holy shit. And
Yeah,
and you've had some close
a
ones. Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah,
close
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah,
You've definitely had some close ones.
but yeah, that last one was by far the most scary and truly life ruining for a while. You know what I mean? Like I was destroyed, like body wise. I was in the hospital for so long, I lost all of my sponsors. I had
Fuck.
a new baby coming, you know. I'm going to be a dad. I lose all my sponsors, everything I'd built over the years. And then I'm literally thinking, like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do anything like active or anything again. And it took me pretty much like at least a year and a half to be able to really like function like pretty good, you know, to be able to actually ride and jump. I started jumping within a year from being hurt, but it was like I was hurting a lot and
Yeah.
it was not easy, you know?
Pushing it on the recovery mode for
Yeah.
you getting back out there and doing that.
Yeah, totally. And it was super rough, man. And then I went through so much stuff. Just also through that time, like I mean, not only the injury, having the kid, trying to recover from that, I also had like ended up having to go to like rehab, you know, like actual like a rehab to get off of a substance like a drug.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up because I've had a lot of friends with sports injuries, extreme sports injuries, and different things with their recovery to where they've gotten it's ruined their life. They've become addicted to opiates, or they've gotten into alcohol real bad, or just like through their recovery chose other things that have kind of took
Yeah.
away the best parts of
Oh,
them.
it's
So
super.
so
Yeah.
do you have any experience with situations like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, everybody in moto, I feel like has been through the pain pill kind of thing,
Yeah.
but that wasn't what messed me up like at this time. Like, you know, that it was that stuff like kratom that's like legal, you know what I mean?
The
It's
shit
like
you
a
buy at the
kind.
gas station?
Yeah, yeah, the gas
Kratom.
station stuff, kratom, yeah.
What?
That had me like super, super messed up, like really, really bad. And the shitty part was that because it's kind of like an opiate or is an opiate as well, it made it to where the like meds that they gave me at the hospital like didn't really work either. You know what I mean? So it just like was kind of like doubling down on just really being hard. And then through that whole time just being hurt and trying to heal from that. And then also I had this like super bad addiction to that kratom shit.
I didn't even know that that was something that you could become addicted to. I
I
mean,
know, I
obviously all
know.
substances.
So many people say that too. And I honestly like I was one of the people who used to say like, "Oh no, it's like chill," because they advertise it as like a herbal supplement or something
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
100%.
And I was like, "No, it's nothing like that." You know what I mean? Because they tell you it's like coffee or tea or something. But dude, it was gnarly. But I didn't even know really how bad I was on it until until going to be in the hospital. Because then I was getting I was I wasn't taking it, you know, because I wasn't in my daily life
Yeah.
normal. I was like in the hospital and they're giving me whatever they give you there, like morphine or something. And then I was like dealing with withdrawal symptoms from that stuff while I'm like in the trauma unit, you know? So I had to have my girlfriend Lindsay like sneak me in like kratom while I'm in the fucking hospital to
Your
like
body was
help me.
100% like fucking needed it.
Totally, 100% dependent, like, so bad, and
Holy
then
shit.
even getting out of there was still for the whole time while I'm trying to get better, I struggled with that, and I ended up having to, you know, like, go to a rehab to, like, get fixed on that, and thank God I did, like,
Yeah, respect
yeah.
you for that. What's crazy about the kratom thing is it's fucked up because I didn't even, it like you said, it's coffee or tea or something. It's right
Yeah.
there at the counter when you're at the gas station or liquor
Yeah,
store or
yeah.
whatever,
Yep.
and you can just buy. You be 18 years old and buy it, and you can buy as much as you want
Yeah, exactly, dude, I just saw this thing on the news the other day by our house, some, like, 19-year-old kid, like, died from it the other
from
day.
overdose on kratom.
Yeah.
You
Just
know, this is
crazy.
interesting.
I was like,
I'm
"Wow."
gonna do a little bit of reading and stuff because I kind of remember when that shit came out,
Yeah.
like when it was first coming out, and I remember that friends that would supplement their Percocet addiction or whatever, or were trying to wean off,
Mhm.
would take kratom,
Yeah.
and they just whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Lots of people do that for
I
sure.
didn't really realize that it was addictive in a way that could make your body feel dependent upon it.
Yeah, it was gnarly. You know, shout out actually to you know Jason Ellis, like the skater guy. He
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
podcast too. That dude,
yeah. Jason
Jason
L's a
Ellis.
badass dude.
Yeah, he's super rad. Well, shout out to that dude because he's the dude who got me looking into like while I'm addicted to kratom, right? Like at the point of really bad. He was like mentioning on his podcast a lot because he had got super addicted to kratom and he had quit and he was talking about it. And I remember being like, oh, and it made me start thinking, I'm like, man, I should probably like try to stop doing this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it was affecting me. And honestly, him speaking about it was the first time I really heard it. Like somebody who I kind of felt like was it kind of at the same level I was, but he had like quit and so I started kinda looking into, like, how can I fucking stop? I actually reached out to him and asked him, about it and stuff, and he's really cool, but he's a really big advocate for, like, helping people try to get off of it and stuff, and that kinda started my look into it, and then, I thank God, like, the thing that saved my life 100% because I could not stop, bro, like, the kratom had me so bad, um just horribly, and
that's
there was no way I
crazy.
could stop, and I found out about this stuff called ibogaine, like, you've heard about it?
Nah, I mean, you mentioned a little bit to me about it
Yeah.
last night, but no. What is
Dude,
it?
so I heard about it.
Ibogaine?
Yeah, ibogaine is what it's called, and I heard about it on it was a Joe Rogan podcast, like, a year ago or something with this dude, Brian Hubbard's his name, I think, and, him and Joe Rogan were talking about it, and I guess it was, like, this super kinda weird it's like an illegal thing here in the United States, but I guess you could go to Mexico is what I'd heard then, and go to a treatment that supposedly cured, like, any types of addiction, it helped people with, like military guys with, like, PTSD
Oh,
and
wow.
stuff like that, and it just, like, fully rewrites your brain, you know, because like, any addiction like that's kind of like a like, kind of a brain injury, you know, because 'Cause
Psychological
you're
thing where you're
you're, like, messing up the receptors in your brain, you know what I mean, by doing that stuff, and it, like, helps fully reset that. So I started looking into that at the time, and I started looking to see how I could go about going to do ibogaine. And dude, it's kind of scary because it's cardiotoxic, like it can kill you. Like it's a hardcore medicine, right? And I was trying to find a place to go, but dude, it was so expensive. It was like 25 grand, and there's like 6 month wait list because it's illegal. So it's like all these people are trying to go to Mexico to do this. And then there's all these also like shisty, sketchy places where people go and they die. You know what I mean?
When
All
they
the
steal your
time.
fucking kidneys or something.
Yeah. So there's mad stories. I'm like terrified of it. But I found this place. It was Anselmo Ibogaine Center, which was so awesome. Like they got me in, and it was like actually affordable, and it was like a super safe, like cool spot, like professional. But you have to have a doctor there, like you're a doctor, like supervision. There's like two nurses with you. You're on a heart monitor the whole time. And it is hardcore, dude. It was the most hardcore thing I've ever done in my life. And it totally fixed me. Like, absolutely just,
And were you like you remember the experience? Like, can you look back on it right now and
dude, it
like
was,
go back through like how it felt when they administered you the ibogaine?
I can, yeah. The Ibogaine is weird because I researched so much and I listened to other people's like kind of testimonies of going through it, you know? And a lot of people say they have like all these mad visuals, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like really trippy, which mine wasn't like visuals like a movie. It was really fucking weird. It was like the way it started out, you have to be like you're in a bed on a heart monitor with a sleep mask on, you know, because it goes for a long time. I think my trip in this stuff was 36 hours, like fully
Holy
blacked out,
shit,
just
dude.
tripping into oblivion for 36 hours.
When you say tripping into oblivion, I myself have had some psychedelics experience or some
Yeah.
trips, you know, not afraid to admit that. A
Yep.
lot of it was for like spiritual reasons or to, you know, just work through some shit. But when you say that it was just like blast off, can you elaborate on that? I'm just
Yeah,
curious what that
yeah.
was like.
I can kind of tell you like the way it was like going through it. Like I, when I first took it, about 15, 20 minutes in, it just alleviated like all symptoms of like withdrawal, like anything, like it went away. And I had gone through like a medical detox with those people for like 9 days. So I was in pretty rough shape at this point
Damn.
when I finally got to take it. And then it alleviated all that. And I had been just not sleeping because I'm in detox, you know?
Right.
And so I was so exhausted. I just passed out as soon as the withdrawals like went away. And so I was like dead asleep. And then when the ibogaine started like kicking in, I woke up because it felt like, I mean, it not felt like it was happening. Like I looked and my whole body was like kind of like jolting like every 1 or 2 seconds. Like I was getting a crazy electrical shock through my whole body, it felt like. Yeah. And it was doing that. Like I was almost like feeling like I was levitating off the bed. So I'm like getting this electrical shock like every 1 or 2 seconds at first. And then I kind of peeked out of my mask and everything looked really weird. And I was like, oh, hell no. So I
Put
put
it
it
back
back on. Yeah. Cause they said to keep your mask on. And so I just kind of went back into that. And they said just to roll with it. Like, don't fight it. Like you could like,
Mm.
you know, it was, so I rolled with it. And it was just, it's so, I've tried to describe this to people, so I'll do a terrible job. Like it's unimaginable, but it felt like, you know, the movie The Matrix, like the code, how you see that code?
Yeah.
It was like that in my mind, but instead of green, like code, it was black and orange, like orange code. And there was all these little orb like balls like on the grid, and they were all going super fast, and there was this sound going on in my mind, right? That just got louder and louder and louder for hours, bro, for hours. And it just got bigger and bigger. And there would be like this explosion in your mind, it felt like. And it would start over at a new tone, like a new frequency. And
Oh
it did
damn.
that for, it felt like ever. Okay. until the noises got so big in my mind that I just literally lost consciousness. Like I just black, just completely black. And I woke up. So I had went into treatment. It was like Wednesday evening, like around dinner time. And when I woke up, it was Friday
Oh,
at
shit.
like 4 a.m. So whatever, 30 something hours, you know what I mean? And it was just, I don't know how long the trip that I was aware for, like all those noises and tones and that grid, that kind of like matrix grid was going on for, but it felt like really long time. And then it just went black. And then I just woke up and I felt awesome, like just so good. And it was life changing, amazing, like thing. Like I literally feel like I was reset in my mind to being like 20 years old again. It
So
was so sick.
maybe that experience was like the rewriting in the,
Oh, it was.
you know,
That's what it was like.
your brain being rewritten to not
Yeah.
feel the psychological effects of the addiction.
Yeah, well, that's what I've like described it as before. It truly felt like the tones and everything. It felt like you remember like old dial-up, like that. It was like that in your mind on every neuron, like
Damn.
rebooting your brain completely for fucking days, you know. And you know how trips are, like it's hard to know time.
Yeah.
But just imagine like spending a year just tripping in a dial tone. Like it was
So
so so gnarly.
you believe that from the homie Ellis that and kind of feeling like you from the injury, from the experience, being in the hospital, not being able to really feel the medicine because the kratom was, you know, just so heavily needed inside your body.
Yeah.
You came to a point where you heard about it and you believed that that was going to be one of the only things that could help save you
Yeah, yeah.
from that.
So Jason Ellis, like I heard, like he just like got me thinking about the kratom and what it was doing to me, and then like it made me like scared to be dependent on that, like hearing how gnarly it was for him to stop, and I was like, oh, I got to do this, you know what I mean? And then I started trying, but I fucking couldn't do it. And then at around that same time, I heard of ibogaine, and I was like, well, I wonder if that is something I could do to like fix myself and just reset and just be good, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then so it was just this whole journey of like kind of like these little clues that kept like coming out, and I just went down that path, and it has been so cool and the best thing I've ever done for my life. 100%. Like I mean, I didn't realize how much I didn't feel emotions. I didn't like for the first time when I came back from Mexico, I like smelled stuff. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, I've been just running around for years not even having senses, you know?" And yeah, dude, the place, but honestly, if anybody is looking into doing any of that, like, or knows about ibogaine or wants to know about it or wants to go to a place, like 100%, hit me up like on Instagram. I'll help you guys because I know how it was for me trying to find a place and how scary it was, like how crazy it was. Like it is nuts, but it's like truly can like save your fucking life, dude. But yeah, if anybody needs it, like hit me up on Instagram and I can help you like at least get connected with the place I went to because it saved my life, dude. Like changed my life. And
Now is it like, does that place have like a specific name or you got to kind of like know where to go in
no,
Mexico?
it is. They have a website and stuff, a 1-800 number. It's just hard to get in, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But they were really cool and they worked with me like on getting in. But yeah, it's Anselmo Ibogaine Center is where I went. The owner's name is Tom. He's super cool dude. I've become friends with him
White guy
after being
Tom?
there. Yeah, yeah,
Sick,
Tom. Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
He doesn't
yeah.
own MySpace, does he?
No, no, no.
No,
But
just kidding.
yeah, super sick place. And oh man, I'm so glad I did it. And
And you've been kratom free ever since, obviously.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I
no
would,
desire.
dude, not at all. Yeah,
Wow.
I don't even want to look at it,
Yeah,
dude.
no,
Like,
dude,
fuck that.
it's just so crazy that it took that length.
Yeah, it was so gnarly. I couldn't believe it. But no, what's crazy is when I was down there in rehab, the other people there were there for kratom,
No
not
shit.
for other drugs and stuff. It was kratom, like everybody. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, it kind of made me feel like, because at first I felt kind of dumb, you know what I mean? Because like you said, you're like, I didn't even know people get addicted. And I was
No,
talking to
felt ignorant to it. Yeah,
your homie who lended me the Sportster.
yeah.
I
He
was telling him
he,
last night, yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't even know people could get addicted to that." I'm like, "Dude, I was bad."
Yeah, so
Bad.
check it out. Be wicked careful. Stay the away from kratom.
Yeah,
How about that?
for sure, man. Well, especially the extracts. I'm not hating like kratom, like in the raw, the natural form, whatever. You know what I mean? Do your thing. I don't judge anybody on nothing. Party, whatever. Do your shit. But just know that the extracts, dude, can fuck you up because they're like 1,000 times more powerful than the normal leaf, you know. And then they got like these synthetic versions. Then that's what happened to me is I just got fucked up on the extracts and those like glass bottles of it, synthetics.
Seems like that's what humans love to do is to take something that has more of a natural form,
Yeah,
and then we take it into a lab and fuck it all up and then
yeah,
pump it into
exactly.
people. And then you can just nowadays you can get shit right over the counter.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like it was so hardcore. And I mean, honestly, I'm kind of embarrassed that I was like, that's the deal. Like, it'd be way cooler to be strung out on heroin or coke or something, but it was just kratom, dude. Had me by the nuts, bro, for years.
Yeah, no shame in your game, dude. It's crazy because you didn't know that that was something that you could become addicted to either,
Not in like
right?
that way.
Like you,
You heard people say it, you know, but I was like, fuck, and it just didn't, you know, like everybody I tell was addicted to it. They're like, oh, I thought that was like coffee or something. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Um,
So in your defense, you just were, just
yeah, it was
taking
just
it
the
and
deal.
not necessarily thinking that it was going to
Yeah,
cause you to need to go to Mexico.
and it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like, it made you feel good. It didn't seem to have side effects. You didn't feel like hungover. You know, like if you're drinking like a lot and you get hungover, it wasn't like really that to me, anyways. Or like if you're doing other drugs, you know, like you're out partying on Molly, like you feel bad for the next couple days, you
right.
know, stuff like that. It didn't really seem like that to me. But dude, trying to stop was like brutal.
Anybody that's out there that's struggling with addiction currently or who has gone through it, you're not alone.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no shame. There's no shame in the game, and if you got to reach out or if you need help, like Bradley Slum just said, especially with his knowledge from the Kratom experience and from ibogaine
yeah.
and learning some information about
Look
that.
into ibogaine for real, dude. If you have any type of thing going on like that, I swear, like it's like magic.
Yeah, dude. I
Terrifying,
want to
but
say
magic.
gratitude
Thanks,
and
bro.
respect to you, and I'm really thankful that you were able to work through that experience in your life. There's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was
people that don't, or they feel like they get to the end of the road, and the addiction ends up ultimately taking them out of this world. So, I'm glad that you were able to do your research and figure out what was going to work for you, and then you went and did it, and it worked.
yep, absolutely. Me too. Like it was gnarly, but it's all good now. Just part of the journey.
Part of the journey, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Life
Yeah.
is a journey. So shout out to the Mexico Recovery Center.
Yep.
Shout out to you for working through that. Big ups to you, mad respect for that. Um, Dude, thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to do too, since we just shouted out the Mexico Recovery Spot, is one of the things I want to give you an opportunity to do here on the Joe Show, the Honest Sigma Podcast, episode 22, as we round this young and come to a close. Is there anybody in your life that you feel like, we talked about mom, dad, we talked about Lindsay, we talked about your son Luca, and mentioned a few homies that have been there or helped you out. But is there anybody on the podcast that you like to shout out, or any companies or anybody that's supporting you or has supported you?
Yeah, I mean, company wise, like Chica Cheetah, this is my title sponsor this year. They're awesome. They're like a tequila company that's super cool. They kind of like have an action sports team, and they're really rad, a really fun like group of people. So shout out Chica Cheetah. The Anselmo Ibogaine Center, that place just for saving my life. Thank you guys. That was sick. And then, I mean, people wise, honestly, like heroes, you know what I mean? Larry Linkoggle from Metal Militia was like my hero growing up always. And now his son Lincoln is like one of my really good friends. You know, he's
Sick.
kind of running Metal Militia nowadays. And those guys are still like supporting me as well. They always like share my stuff, and I appreciate that. Um, and yeah, I mean, just idolize or like heroes like Travis Pastrana
Yeah,
was the
legend.
sickest, and
Go,
he's always
go.
been so cool to me and like, you know, sends me opportunities and things like that. So I appreciate that. Um, Robbie Madison's always been really cool as well.
I've heard nothing but
Legend.
amazing things about Robbie Madison
Dude,
as well,
he's
dude.
such a good dude, such a cool guy. Really fun to talk to too, man. He's got cool stories. He's just super cool, and he's also like just always kind of supported like the weird ideas and things and all. But yeah. And then thank you. Thanks for having me.
Dude,
Yeah.
you are very fucking welcome, dog. If you guys didn't know, just a little background on what we did since Slums came into town. I did do a comedy show. He missed that, which is fine.
Yeah, I
He
didn't
came in a little
make
bit
it.
after that.
Didn't make it.
But shout out to everybody that came out to my comedy show. You know, I love doing comedy shows when I'm here in Reno, which was really awesome for me to start out the week for that. But also, podcast, obviously coming here and doing this at Lifestyle Studios, and you coming out, flying out here was a major and big deal to me. But what we did today, before we came over to Lifestyle Studios to have this awesome podcast, which I'm extremely grateful for, is rounded up some bikes from
Yep.
some homies, some Harleys. Big shout out to Big Red. Big shout out to Alex Heem for lacing us up with some bikes. Friends let friends ride their motorcycles, their Harleys and shit, right? And we grabbed a couple fishing poles and we went and caught some fish today.
Yeah, some cutthroats.
Some
Couple
cutthroats, dude.
cutties,
Well,
yeah.
he caught fish. I didn't catch nothing but a good time. But in life, it be like that. So,
Yeah.
again, very grateful for you for coming out, taking time away from
Yeah,
the
thank you,
family,
dude.
and thank you for everything that you explained and your story, dude. It's very, very incredible, highly respectable. And the one thing that I think is the thing that I look up to you the most is just your tenacity and your ability to just keep going, right?
Yeah.
Through the adversity, through the injuries, through the people, whether they support your ideas or don't, through losing sponsors, through, you know, developing this crazy addiction and having to work through that, and just your fucking never give up and live your life the way that you want to live it
Oh yeah,
is
thank
an
you.
extremely admirable thing, my boy. So
Thank you. Thank you.
people might not know this either, but Slums and I, we just were homies on the internet. And like I said, met through Tallboy T. And so this is our first time getting to link up and kicking his homies. And dude, thank you.
Hey man, thank you, bro.
Good ass
Appreciate it.
fucking dude right here, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much. Again, thank you to all the subscribers, everybody that watches the Joe Show. I am going to continue to do my best to keep this show going. Okay. And I'm going to continue to try to bring out maybe not as high caliber and dope guests as Bryce Slums here, but I'm going to continue to try to highlight and bring up people that deserve to be shouted out and to be on this show. So again, shout out to Slums for coming out here. Shout out to Lifestyle Studios. Shout out to me. How about that? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. But this is the 22nd episode of the On a Sick One podcast. My name is Joe Sorgani, Joe Comedy. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate you, my G.
Thank you, bro.
That's all. Peace. Love. Good shit.